All right. Good morning, everybody. This is Fausto Pupo, Senior Educational Consultant from Anthology. And today we're going to explore the AI Design Assistant, which is one of my favorite features of Learn Ultra. There are a number of things that you can use it for. We're going to take a close look at each one of them. As always, please feel free to ask questions at any time. You can either raise your hand and then unmute your microphone to ask your question and participate, or if you prefer, you can also use the chat, okay? Whichever you feel more comfortable with. One of the things that you can use the AI Design Assistant for is to create a structure for your course. Not the content per se, but if you have a good idea of what the course contents or the learning objectives are, you can use that in order to have the AI Design Assistant help you organize it and arrange it in such a way that it presents a smooth and logical path to your students, which of course can save you a lot of time. All you need to do really is go to your course content page. This course is pretty much blank except for a folder with a file that I will use later on today. And all I need to do is go to my course content page, go to the top position, and you will see the plus sign turn purple as well as the whole line. Just click on it. And the option I'm going to select is Auto Generate Modules. Now, there are usually two ways in which you can input the AI Design Assistant, in which you can prompt it. You could either select course items, or you can provide a description. As always, with AI prompting, the more specific you are, the more likely the end result is to resemble what you had in mind in the first place. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take this sample syllabus. It's for a course on electrocardiograph technique and application, but of course you could use just about any topic that you want. And I happen to have the course overview and the course objectives. So I'm going to use all of that as my input. I will simply select it, copy it, and paste it here. You don't really need to worry too much about the formatting. The AI Design Assistant will be able to understand it. Now, as you can see here in the example, there is the AI Design Assistant can generate an image to be used as a thumbnail and illustrate the actual contents of your modules, a title for each module, as well as a description, which can be very helpful when it comes to deciding what content items and what assessment instruments you want to use. By default, there will be no prefix, as you can see here, it's just the titles. However, you can also have it include prefixes. Just click on the drop down box here, menu here, and as you can see, the options are topic, unit, week, chapter, and module. Let's go with weeks. It will include images and it will include descriptions. Of course, you could deactivate those too, but then again, it helps a lot to have that. Also, you can adjust the complexity level. So you can use a default one, which is slightly beyond the middle here, generate, and if the end result is a bit too complex or perhaps a bit too simple, you can always change, adjust, okay, and generate again. Now, it can generate up to 20 modules at a time. But since I have 9 learning objectives here, and each one has to do with a very specific topic. I'm going to select 10. You can always select a few more than what you need and then decide whether you want to leave something out. That is another option. Now, under advanced options, basically you can determine the output language. So if you're teaching a foreign language course, could be Chinese, Spanish, Dutch, Portuguese, or any other language, then you can select it and the output will be in that language. I'm going to use the default for this instance, which is American English, and click on Generate. Oh, that's a good question, Xavier. Not the complexity level. I mean, in a way it is, because it does use Bloom's taxonomy of the cognitive domain to tailor specifically assessment instruments like test questions, assignments, journals, and discussions. Okay, so you can indeed select, as we will see later on today, the specific level, okay, of Bloom's taxonomy of the cognitive domain for assessment instruments. So it is a combination of both.
That makes sense. Could you explain more what the complexity means? I don't really understand that in the context of this.
Oh, I'll do that by providing you with a very simple example. Let's go with first low complexity. Okay, so here, okay, this would be like let's think of this as an introductory level, okay, course to electrocardiography in general. So here, understanding electrocardiographs, and in this week, students will learn the key terms related to electrocardiographs, including vocabulary used in heart monitoring. Understanding these words is important. So first, it focuses on key vocabulary, then the cardiac cycle. Okay, students will explore the cardiac cycle and the conduction system. So all of this is at an introductory level. Now, if we set it to the middle, more or less, and generate again, it goes deeper into the different topics. Let's give it a moment. The electrocardiograph unveiled this week introduces the electrocardiogram as a crucial tool in cardiology. Students will learn about the different components of the electrocardiogram waveform, how to interpret P waves, QRS complexes, and T waves. Basic principles of amplitude and duration will also be discussed. Equipment safety and maintenance, essential electrocardiogram supplies and equipment, proper lead placement techniques, etc. This is at a more advanced level than the lowest, which is more like an introductory level. If we set it all the way to high, generate, this is a more advanced course, let's say, and it will go much deeper into the different concepts. Let's give it a moment. Course introduction and overview. Okay. This introductory week will provide an overview of the cardiovascular system, including its anatomy and physiology. Students will familiarize themselves with the course objectives, essential terms, and importance of electrocardiography in clinical practice. Discussion will also cover legal and ethical responsibilities in patient care related to cardiac monitoring. Then you have, in this week, students will delve into the cardiac cycle, breaking down its phases, systole and diastole. Hope I got pronunciation of those two right. course will explore the conduction system, including critical components such as a sinoatrial node, atrioventricular node, and the bundle branches, illuminating how these structures coordinate heart rhythm and function. Oh, I'm glad you found them helpful. So basically, well, level of complexity means how in depth the topics will be covered. Okay, but since we're here, let's go.
So try to pause out. We clarify one thing is that this is what AI's perception based on the objective and learning objective and things that we put in, and then AI utilize all the available source where it could identify and try to describe the topic. As a teacher, we will decide whether the complexity fits exactly how we want to teach for the course content, or if it fits well for the textbook reading. So it's not just like a blindly accept everything AI has to suggest, but we have to go back to and check whether it matches exactly what we intend to accomplish. So make sure AI does not go way too simple or go way too beyond our league. So students will think this course is far more complicated than they could actually comprehend, right?
I couldn't agree more with you, because you can use this to, let's say, tailor the depth of the different topics to what the actual textbook or sources or your actual objectives. So otherwise it would be like a straitjacket, right? But here you can play with this until it makes sense. Of course, you can always edit the end result. I mean, this is like a guide, if you will. All of this is suggested, but then you can give and take a little bit here and there also to maximize, okay, the match between your actual intentions for the course and what you end up with. Also, and this is important, this is auto-generated content, and it needs to be checked for accuracy and bias, right? So, I mean, you have the last word always, and of course, this is not written in stone. But that was a very good comment. Actually, I'll quote you on that one, because I have another session just like this later on with another university, which happens to be Cameron University, from States also. So I'll quote you on that one because I liked that explanation there. Okay, so now let's take a look at what it came up with. Course introduction and overview. Now manually select what you want to use. Cardiac cycle and conduction system, understanding electrocardiograms. As you can see, it doesn't always get it right with at the first attempts when it comes to pictures or images, maintaining equipment and ensuring safety. So as you can see, since the title is kind of generic, it interpreted like equipment in general, like more like an industrial equipment. So here you have two choices. One of them, actually you have two choices. You can let it try again by clicking this icon. However, if that still doesn't work, because the description clearly mentions electrocardiogram equipment. If that doesn't work, you can always, once we add this to the course, we can always prompt it again, this time specifying that we're talking, it's not getting it. So I'm just going to keep this one. And in the next step, I will clearly state that what I mean is electrocardiogram equipment. Introduction to electrocardiography, lead placement techniques, performing an electrocardiogram, calculating heart rate, identifying cardiac emergencies. Yes, I want to be able to do that. And final review and practical assessment. So I'll add all those to my course. Okay, and here they are. And now let's address this. So I want to be able to select. Okay, when you click on the three dots, you have access to all the options. So if you click on edit, I will be able to select that text to copy it. So I'll use this as part of my prompt. Now I'll click on the three dots again, edit, go to the image, generate images, and here I will indicate maintaining electrocardiogram equipment and generate. Okay, that makes more sense, doesn't it? So, okay, you can generate, I mean, it generates one at a time. You can generate up to 4. In the first version, it generated 4 at a time, so you could select one. But you know, AI in general uses a lot of power, a lot of electricity. So this is much more. Oh, I like that one better because they're like looking at the equipment. So I select this one here. And don't forget to save once the image has been processed. Okay, that looks better now. Let's keep going and maybe we could change this final review and practical assessment, but it does look kind of right. I don't know. I mean, you can always make it more specific so that it actually illustrates the content of your lesson. So this is the first thing that you can use the AI Design Assistant for. Another thing that you can use the AI Design Assistant for is to create an assignment, a discussion, or a journal. So let me select edit here so I can use a description as my prompt. Now inside week 2, I'm going to click on plus, create, and I'll create an assignment. From here, I select auto generate assignment. And you can, again, use either an element, an item from the course, or provide a description. So as a description, it'll be the description for this module. Again, you can adjust the complexity level. You probably want to match it with the level that you used for other items. Nevertheless, as you clearly mentioned earlier, well, you can adjust it until it looks just like what you and your students need. So I'm going to leave it at this level, a little higher. And oh, I almost missed this one. Now for assessment instruments and activities, you do have, okay, a choice of levels of the Bloom's taxonomy of the cognitive domain. The 4 top levels, this is a revised version, the one that uses verbs instead of nouns. I know it dates back, this version dates back to 1991, but it's still quite valid, I would say. Create being the highest order thinking skill. Analyze, evaluate, and create are known as the higher order thinking skills, are the 4th, 5th, and 6th levels, respectively. Apply is also usable, perhaps for an assignment. The first 2, remember and understand, are a bit too simple or basic, probably, to be really usable. If you leave it at inspire me, okay, then it's going to give you a combination. If you select one specific level, then all 3 options, because it always generates 3 different options, all three options would be at the same level, which can be useful in certain cases. And I'll show you an example of that in a moment. I'll leave it at inspire me and then click on generate. Another thing I like is that each option tends to be a different format, a different time of a deliverable that students are to submit and work on, of course. The first one, understanding the heart's rhythm. For this assignment, you will explore the components of the cardiac cycle and the conduction system that governs heart rhythms. Begin by breaking down the phases of systole and diastole. Hope I got those right. Please correct me if I did not. And analyze how disruptions in these phases can affect overall heart health. To enhance your submission, create an infographic that visually represents the cardiac cycle. Alongside the roles, include comparisons with normal versus disruptive rhythms, highlighting potential causes and consequences. Additionally, consider incorporating a personal reflection or a mock scenario. So this is a report which includes a visual component, the infographic. Second option, and the level here is analyze. Second option, the heart's conduction system explored. In this assignment, you're encouraged to investigate and conceptualize the heart's conduction system. Blah, blah, blah. Your goal is to create a comprehensive presentation that describes these components. As part of your presentation, include diagrams illustrating the pathways of electrical impulses. Furthermore, enhance your understanding by conducting a mock interview with a fictitious cardiologist. This creative approach will not only engage your audience, but also assist in deepening your comprehension of the intricate process involved in cardiac rhythm regulation. So now it's, in addition to the report, basically it's a presentation that includes diagrams and a mock interview. And finally, this is create and finally evaluate. For this assignment, you will evaluate the interplay between the cardiac cycle and its conduction system, focusing on how they maintain rhythm and coordination. Write an essay that assesses importance. Use real-life experiences or case studies to support your evaluation. To bolster your submission, consider adding photographs or video clips that exemplify healthy versus unhealthy heart rhythms, or animations that illustrate this process. This multifaceted approach will guide you to a deeper understanding of cardiac. So as you can see, oh yeah, it also works great. I mean, this is not an actual course, but I'll show you an example doing that in a moment. So I think I will go with the infographic here. No, the presentation. So this is how you are expected to use this. You select one, you click on add. And now, of course, you can click on the little pencil here to edit and tailor this to your specific needs. You can insert images, add files, insert links to additional resources that they might find useful, etc. I'm going to copy this because I'm going to use it in a moment. So let's say this is okay. And I can now use the AI Design Assistant to design a very well-designed rubric for these assignments. And that by itself can save you hours of work, quite literally. So all you need to do is go to access the settings. Sorry, mouse is a little stubborn sometimes. There you go. Click on the little gear icon. Then click on Add Grading Rubric. Conduction System, okay, and click on Generate. In the description, I could, okay, Well, I have a few additional options here. I'll show them to you in a moment. So I paste here the exact same instructions I gave to students. Select the type of rubric, percentage range, points range, or even no points if this were purely formative. Complexity, I always try to make it match up to 5 columns, the default is 4, and up to 7 rows. There's a lot that they need to do here, so 7 rows makes sense. Generate. And let's look at what it gave us. Content accuracy. The presentation includes comprehensive and accurate details about the sinoatrial node, atrioventricular node, and bundle branches, and correctly describes their functions in both healthy and disease states. That's exceptional, 100%. All of these you can edit. 75%, most of the content is accurate, covering the main components of the conduction system and their functions, though minor inaccuracies may be present. So it's pretty easy to tell between one level and the next. Satisfactory, some information is accurate, but significant gaps or misunderstandings about the components and their functions are evident. I don't know how satisfactory that would be, so I would probably change the title or the name of this level here. If I needed an electrocardiogram, I would like everything to be accurate. So not really satisfactory. Okay, and then you have diagrams quality, creativity in presentation, mock interview depth, clarity of explanation, engagement error, overall engagement factor, overall organization. As you can see, okay, the most critical or relevant criteria get a higher weight, okay? So I click on next. Now I can edit anything I want. Here would be like in process, maybe, I don't know. You want to give it a name that is easy to recognize. Let's say conduction system. Okay, and then you can change and edit anything you want. And just click on the little pencil here. And once you're done, click on save and add it to the assignment. Don't forget it's right here, as you can see, conduction system. And don't forget to save. And now they're linked. And you're good to go. Now, the very same process is used for generating discussions and journals. I'll show you that in a moment. However, I would now like to show you a little trick here. I mean, that's how it's intended to be used. Nevertheless, okay, there's more that you can do with it. I mean, I have been in this position at Anthology, well, Blackboard, now Anthology, for the past 8 years, but I have a little over 30 years of experience in education, and I've worn many hats from high school teacher to graduate and undergraduate professor to program director to master trainer at the Peace Corps, now at a senior educational consultant. So from my experience, okay, students tend to respond better when they can choose what they want to work on. So let's do the following. Okay, for this, it's practical to open the course in 2 different tabs at once. So here, I will go to the groups tool. Okay, let me delete this. I don't need this. Okay, And what I'm going to do, one, I'll leave it in groups. It's the same course, remember. And for the other one, I'm going to click on plus, create. And now I'm going to create a discussion. Journals, discussions, and assignments, all three of which you can generate using the AI Design Assistant. Click on discussion. I almost forgot something. I want to include the topic here. Okay, now I have my prompt. So click here, create discussion, auto-generate, okay, provide a description, and now adjust the complexity level, and now I want to choose one same level for all three. Let's say evaluate, sounds about right, could be analyze or evaluate for a discussion. Now it's going to give me three options, but all three options will be at the same level. Generate. Okay, now I'm not going to select one because as you can see, I have three very different topics: exploring the orchestra of heartbeats, the consequences of cardiac miscommunication, and visualizing cardiac dynamics. And now here, I'm going to go to groups, create new group set. I need to make it visible. Let's give it a week 2 discussion. And now I'm going to select self-enrollment. And as you can see, I have 3 groups. So I am kind of tricking the AI Design Assistant into doing this right now. I'm going to take, okay, the title of the first discussion and make it the name of the first group. And for that initial question or instructions, if I were using an assignment, I would put them in the description. And I'll do the same thing with the other 2. And finally, this one here. Okay, and well, they can start today, right away. They have until Monday, but by the end of the day, to choose a group. And I will hide enrolled members so that they do not choose by affinity, but because of the topic. Now I'm ready to save this. Now I go to auto generate. I'm going to cancel this. Week 2 discussion. And here would be choose one of the topics and follow the instructions. In the description. I save this. I'll make it visible to students now. Go to the settings, scroll down, go to assign to groups, and group students. I will select the group set I just created and save. Let's not forget to save this one here. And now, if I am a student, let's go to, I need to make this one visible also. But if I am a student, I just need to go to student preview, simulate what a student would see. And as you can see, there is even an announcement. Join a group to participate in week 2 discussion. But if I go to the actual discussion, first time I am prompted to join a group to participate. Here, let's say exploring the orchestra of heartbeats, consequences, visualizing cardiac dynamics. I kind of like this title. So as a student, I can join it. All right. So now you're giving students the ability to choose which of the 3 topics they find more enticing, more meaningful, and therefore they might be more willing to participate, okay, actively in the discussion. Okay, I'm going to discard now. I just wanted to show you. So even though it is not really intended to be used in that way, you can use it in that way, okay, to let students choose. All right, and of course, you also have the ability. Let me select the same text again. You also have the ability to generate a journal, either by selecting course items or in this cognitive level, complexity level, and generate. And as you can see, exploring the heart's narrative. Okay, that sounds kind of interesting. The heartbeat of health system, rhythm and resonance, and interview with a cardiologist. I even like the titles, not just the concept, but okay, they're kind of catchy there. I can edit anything I want, then save. And if I want to use a rubric, all I need to do, let's go to the settings here, is make it gradable. It can be a formative grade. I don't need to include it in the overall grade calculation. And then add a grading rubric. Just simply generate complexity level. Well, creativity narrative, understanding the cardiac cycle, application of medical terminology, illustration quality and accuracy, engagement with scenario, clarity and coherence in writing. As a lifelong English as a foreign language teacher, coherence, cohesion in writing to me are like a big deal, and reflection on challenges. Then you continue. And of course, you can edit or change anything you want. Save. Oh, I forgot to give it a proper title. This is a week 2 journal. And don't forget to add it. And there you go. Now, what else can you use? Oh yeah, they can upload a Word document, a file, or anything that you want. Like, let me show you. Is it visible? Yes, it is visible. Student preview, start preview. Oh, this is the assignment. This is the one I'm looking for. Okay, and if they click on type and entry, well, they can attach a file, just as if it were, okay, I mean, they can attach a file, they can insert an image, they can embed a video if they want, etc. So there is no limit to what they can do there. Sure, you're welcome. All right, what else can we do here? You can also use the AI Design Assistant to generate test questions and question banks. To do that, all you need to do is, let's go to the question banks section here, which you can find under Details and Actions, Manage Banks. Okay, I have a few from a previous demo. Let me delete those real quick. All right, as always in Ultra, when you want to add something, just click on the plus sign, and here you will find the auto generate. Now I will select a course item, okay, and I'm going to dramatically change the topic, because here, if I go to content, this is your whole course, all these are all the learning modules, and you can select all types of elements, even discussions or assignments, etc. But here I want to use an Ultra document called AI in Education, Transforming Learning for the Future. So if I select that one, okay, I could select multiple items. Now I have a number that indicates how many elements from this course are being used. Question type, there are 6 different question types: essay, fill in the blanks, jumbled sentence, matching, multiple choice, and true false. Complexity level and number of questions. Say I will have it generate 10 questions. Okay, you could leave it at, normally when I am generating question banks, I like to make sure that all of the questions are at the same level of challenge to students. So I probably don't want to have a combination of essays and essay questions and true false questions, because if they're going to be randomly displayed to students, what if someone gets a bunch of essay questions and someone gets mostly true, false, and multiple choice? So I will go with one question type. Generate. And again, you want to check each one of them. That's why you don't have an option to select all of them at once, because you do want to take your time looking at each one. And it says that very clearly here, because this is auto-generated content and needs to be checked for accuracy and bias. You can always edit any of these questions, or you could delete them afterwards, or you could simply skip them from here. And after that, add the 10 questions to the bank. This is my bank. And let's give it a proper title, AI in Education. Okay, I can preview them. I can click on the 3 dots here to edit any of them. Provide automated question, change or add options, edit the questions, even provide a question title if I want to. I can also simply click here to preview, okay, the whole question. And now let's use that on a test. Okay, I'll use here. Okay, I know that topic has nothing to do with electrocardiograms, but it's just this is basically a functional demo. So I'm going to create a test. I'll call it sample test. Make it visible to students. I don't have to do that right now, but oh, I need to add questions before I can. So click on plus, add question pool. You can select multiple pools and they will behave as one. Select all because I already looked at them. Okay, I want students to see 5 of them, which will be picked at random. And I want each one to be worth 2 points. Okay, I already have 10 points, 10 maximum points here, and I can view the questions that I just generated. However, you can also use the AI Design Assistant to generate other types of questions, and I'll do that directly on the test. Auto-generate questions. I'll use the same source. Adjust the complexity level. Now I want a combination. Okay, let's have it generate 10 questions. I'm not going to choose all of them, but I want to have plenty to choose from. Question 1 is an essay question. Now, as you can see, it provides you with an example of a correct response. However, this example is referential and for your eyes only. Okay, students will not see it. It's just for you to have an idea of what to expect and of this answer at this level of complexity, more or less. Okay, but it's referential and only you will see it. So I'll choose this one. Here I have a matching question. Here I have a jumbled sentence. Here I have true, false. Did I get any fill in the blanks? Yes, I got a fill in the blanks here. So I'm going to add those 5 to my test now. And of course, I can edit any of them. Okay, in any way I want, of course. So as you can see, you can generate question banks, and you can also generate questions directly on a test. Very good. What else can you use the AI Design Assistant for? It can actually help you with the look and feel or the design of your Ultra documents. So if we go to my source files here, and we look at this Ultra document, it's plain text, as you can see. Okay, and there's nothing wrong with it. However, if you want it to be more attractive or appealing to your students, you can click on Edit Content and select the AI Design Assistant to auto-generate the layout. It will include relevant images. By default, it will take them from Unsplash, which is a repository of images. But you could also use the AI, you could also have it generate the images using the AI Design Assistant. The difference is that images that you generate tend to be more like drawings or paintings or clip art, and stock images are photographs. Okay, but if you decide to use one type, one format, my recommendation would be to remain consistent throughout the course. So this looks like a very traditional language, classroom. Okay, teaching something in Chinese, I believe. Yep, looks like it. And not only does it include the image and improves the layout of your content, but it also, as you can see, it is on by default, generates a comprehension or knowledge check. A knowledge check is a completely formative question. It's not gradable. You cannot really tell which student answered what, because this is purely formative. The idea is for students to have a tool that they can use in order to check whether they really grasped okay, what this page, what this document was about or not. They can try it many times. And if they see that, okay, they're struggling a little bit, maybe they want to dive a little deeper, read again, look for additional resources, etc. Now, that's for students. As an instructor, let me apply the layout here and save it. As an instructor, you have a summary of the knowledge check results. No specific information about specific individuals. That's not the point. For that, you can generate a quiz or a test. But if you see that your students are acing it, then okay, we could say that it was properly covered. But if you see that a few people are struggling, maybe you need to, okay, have them review, go over the topic again, provide additional resources, etc. So this is purely formative. Now, of course, you can use the AI Design Assistant to generate images. So let's create a format document. Okay, so all you need to do is click on image, and you normally have three options. You can upload one from your device. You can select one of the tens of thousands of stock images from Unsplash, or you could generate images. And since today is Friday, let's have a little fun. Let's generate a scary clown. Marcelo, my oldest son, is 30 and still afraid of clowns for some reason. I discovered that by accident on his 3rd birthday. We hired a clown. Bad idea. It was a good clown, but looked a little bit like this, I guess. No, not really. Maybe the outfit. I guess I'm going to be generating quite a few of this next month, thanks to Halloween, to make my demos some more. Okay, this looks better, as you can see. And of course, the more specific your prompt, the more specific the outcome also. Okay, scary clown. That would be the caption. View only. And that would be the alternative text also for people using assistive technology such as a screen reader. And of course, you can resize this if you want. Okay. Okay, don't forget to save. One more thing that you can use the AI Design Assistant for, and it is actually one of my favorite features, is AI conversations. With AI conversations, basically, okay, you know how some faculty members are, I don't know, are a bit suspicious of AI because some people use it to do their work for them, etc. Well, here it's not students asking AI to do things. It is the AI asking students things, okay? And there are two flavors, if you will. Socratic questioning, here basically you provide an initial prompt and a context, and the student responds your initial question, and the AI persona, whose traits and personalities and intentions you can specify, from supportive and friendly to very critical, for instance, will ask follow-up question after follow-up question and helping students poke their brains, actually. And this could be very good in preparation for an assignment or for a discussion, in helping them explore a topic. However, the one I like better is a role play. In role play, basically, that's what happens. The student will interact. Just a second, please. Okay, just a second, please. I need to reply to something. All right, sorry about that. So you want to set the scene and define the student's role. So here, let's say the student is a high school teacher talking to a student who is getting low grades and has a bad attitude towards education. And then let's define the AI persona. So instead of Space Dog, it's going to be John, the student. And he's not supportive. John is, well, let's make it very specific. The AI persona is high school student with a very bad attitude. Let's make it a bit more complex and save it. Now we can review the chat. And let's talk to this student. Hello, John. May I? Oh, how are you doing? Let's break the ice a little bit. Why do you care how I'm doing? It's not like the school stuff even matters. Can we just get this over with? Well, I want to talk to you about your grades. Huh, my grades? Seriously? What's the point? It's not like they're going to matter after high school anyway. Why do you even care? So, I mean, this is a sort of an extreme example, which I like to use, but think about the potential. I mean, of this. You can train medical students on how to conduct a patient-doctor interview, or a lawyer in how to interrogate a witness, or just about any role that you can think of. Even if you're teaching a foreign language, you can use this to have students interact in a meaningful and realistic way with another person, like ordering food in a restaurant or asking for directions. Really, there are many possibilities. But of course, you can even use the AI design assistant to automatically generate these conversations. Okay, let's enter a description here. I'll select the course item, the one on AI in education. And different conversation types, role play and Socratic questioning, more complex, and generate and see what it comes up with. navigating AI's role in personalized learning, role play, conversation scenario. You're a student learning about the integration of AI in education, and your professor, Dr. Mark Reynolds, is looking for expert insights on implementing personalized learning strategies using AI tools. He seeks your expertise to create an effective plan for a diverse classroom with varying student needs and learning styles. The challenge is to ensure that each student receives a tailored educational experience. Reflection question: how can your understanding of AI's capabilities help you design effective personalized learning plans for different types of learners? The AI persona that the students will be interacting with will be Dr. Mark Reynolds. Looks a little bit like John Wick. Personality trait: an enthusiastic education professor who is passionate about innovative teaching methods and the impact of technology on learning. He values creativity, inclusivity, and student engagement in the learning process. Here you have exploring the ethical implications of AI in education. This is Socratic questioning. So based on students' response, okay, it will help them further explore ethical implications of AI in education. They'll be interacting with Professor Sophia Hart. And then you have another Socratic questioning activity, unpacking AI's impact on teacher workload. In a discussion group about AI applications in education, you're exploring the potential impacts on teachers' workloads. Your advisor, Dr. Lucas Hargrove here, challenges you to analyze how AI tools can alleviate the burden of administrative tasks and allow teachers to focus more on teaching and student mentorship. The role is to respond and delve deeper into AI tools and can assist educators. Dr. Lucas Hargrove's personality trait: an education technology consultant with a passion for improving teacher effectiveness through technology. He values collaboration, innovation, and the transformative power of AI in educational settings. Then, well, you select the one you want to use. And you're all set to go. Okay. Adjust the settings as you would with any assignment. And you're ready. Well, that is the AI Design Assistant and all you can do with it. We do have more than plenty of time for questions if you have any.
I'm actually interested to hear from the group if anybody has any ideas on how you might use this in your courses. I was thinking for the AI assistant that one of the scenarios I was imagining was I've always heard that the best way to learn is to teach, and so you could create an AI persona that is a student who's struggling in the course, and the purpose for the students would be to help tutor this student.
Oh,
that way they
definitely.
could look at it from a different perspective.
Yeah, that would be a great application. Or you could even set the AI persona in a role play to be an instructor or an expert on a specific topic, so that if a student has any questions about that topic or they want to learn more about it, then they have a private tutor.
Good point. Also, you could create a persona that is so say you're teaching something that you're wanting them to go into the field. You could have a field expert, somebody who's actually working in the field, obviously not literally, but pretending to be somebody who works in the field.
Exactly.
So, for example, in nursing, you could have, of course, our nursing instructors are nurses, but you could have an interaction with an assistant that is pretending to be somebody who's actively in the field right now.
Yes, definitely. Oh, that's great, Deborah. Well, if there are no additional questions, I guess I can give you some of your Friday back. I mean,
Also,
doesn't hurt.
I do have a question that does not relate to AI, if that's okay.
Sure.
So, before you head out.
Yes, please, go ahead.
Okay, so one of our instructors has copied materials from her classic course, and it brought over test banks and actual tests. However, there was no option to edit all of the test question points at once, so she had to do them individually. Is there a way to do that, or is this an issue that's just for copied courses?
Actually, within a test, there isn't an option to select multiple questions. I mean, it has been brought up before, and hopefully they'll work on a solution. They have been implementing that type of solution for different items, like within the gradebook, to change the grade category, etc. They haven't done it to tests yet. But even though within an actual bank, you cannot change the point value in general, if it's a question bank, when you insert it into a test, you do determine what the point value of each question will be, regardless of what it was originally.
All right, that's a good workaround.
Yeah.
So I just want to let everybody know that this has been recorded, and we will be sharing this recording out probably next week. So keep an eye out for an email from the provost's email that'll be coming from me, and I'll be providing that email, that recording link as well.
All right. Well, everybody have a great weekend. Thank you.
You too. Thank you, Fausto. I appreciate it. And I also appreciate you going through the extra effort of getting us that recording from last week.
Oh, no problem. I'll be doing that later today.
Thanks. Have a good day.
You too.